We sitting here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we in here talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We ain't talking about the game. What are we talking about? We talking about practice, man.
Knocked away by Cheeks and a steal. Cheeks will use up the clock. Goes Malone. And that may do it. And Julius has his ring. Moses Malone did what Philadelphia wanted him to do. The champions of the NBA 1982-83.
What's good, y'all? Uptown Tone back. Episode 5 of the FoFoFo podcast, season 2. Back in color, back in video. Got my good friend Scooter Wilkinson on the pod today. And Cousin John, man. Y'all know Cousin John. Cousin John, friend of the pod, sports writer. Just overall Philly guy, man. So how y'all gentlemen feeling tonight?
Good, man. It's a good night. Glad to be here.
I'm live from my daughter room. I'm gonna close the door. I'm gonna walk off the mic for 2 seconds, close the room, close the door and all that, get the ambiance right.
Right,
you know
right.
And we gonna keep going. I'm right here though. 1 second. I'm right here though. Not going nowhere.
The acoustics must be real good.
Definitely is. But I'm gonna close the door to make sure it don't mess up. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. All right, man. So Sixers. This is the Sixers podcast. FoFoFo. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain that saying to you guys. Y'all know what it is. You know what you're here for. I want to start with the elephant in the room, and that's JoJo putting up that 50 burger the other night, man. If you hadn't seen it before, if you hadn't been watching, if you only been paying attention to the murmurs, I think that night it was on display because it was like 30 wasn't enough. He's been giving you 30 a night, like he's at 30 a night. But it's like that particular night, it's like playing every time down the floor is getting tossed down into him. He's being so dominant. He's showing you a plethora of moves. He's not BSing and being lazy, selling for jump shots a lot. When he is, his jump shots are off the move. They're off of moves. They're very aggressive jump shots that you'll take. You know what I'm saying? It's just a breath of fresh air for real, man. Just everything that he's been through, injury wise, just with the process. For him to internalize what the fans been saying, what the coach has been saying, what all the talking heads been saying, like I've been saying this whole season, and for him to come out each and every night and perform and be that guy that not only you can rely on, but you kind of see a turn in him, like he wants to dominate and be that guy not only here but league wide. It's a thing to see, man. So the floor is open.
So I think that it's two things with watching Joel Embiid have the season that he's having, perform the way he's performing. And one, Tone, you mentioned he just seems a lot more comfortable. He's not second guessing himself. The pump fake at the top of the key, dribble, potentially go to the basket, potentially like try to pull up mid range. Like you're not seeing that move at all. Like that's not his go-to. He's showing you a lot of other moves in his arsenal. Even down to like getting the ball late in quarters, he doesn't seem rushed, right? Regardless of who the defender is that's on him, and at times they are high level defenders that he's putting up these points again, which is crucial. That's number one. The second point, and I don't think it gets enough credit, is the impact that Dwight Howard has in the locker room. You got to think like Dwight Howard literally went through everything that Joel Embiid is going through. I came to a city. I was the cool guy. Everybody was all right with that until we started taking L's. Now y'all asking me to change my role. I don't like that. I get emotional because we lose in the playoffs to Kawhi Leonard. Y'all don't like that either. And I think that having someone of Dwight Howard's caliber there, just coming off a chip, having literally going full circle in the league, I think that plays a factor. And Joel Embiid really just embracing the role that a veteran Dwight Howard plays on the team. It's done nothing but help him out this season.
I think Dwight was big because Dwight chose to come here because he had a deal in LA and he kind of like backed out on some last minute stuff, and that was weird. Which, I mean, just Dwight Howard does some different type of stuff. But he did help a lot, but I think the biggest thing is, and the elephant in the room, and the thing that we not going to address is that it's a black man coaching him now. and it's a black man that knows basketball, that's dominant, that's going to hold him accountable. And that's the biggest thing, is that's why a lot of these younger players need, like, Doc Rivers is not just a coach. He's a father figure. Like, he cares about his players. There's nothing like going out there to play for a guy that cares about you. People could talk about Doc's X and O's and all that stuff like that. I watched this All the Smoke interview, and I sat there and watched all 2 hours of it. And he's one of the best interviews ever, because he could sell salt to a snail. And he basically said, when the first day of training camp, when he had Joe Embiid in there, he was telling him that, I need you to be dominant. And Joe Embiid was like, yeah, I'm good. So he threw him the ball, and he was like, they're going to double me right here. Doc Rivers was like, that's what I want them to do. He said, I want you to engage double teams. I want you to be that guy. Like, I want you to be that. And when you got somebody telling you, I want you to be special, it's hard not to be special. Like, you're going to be special, man. And everybody already knew Joe Embiid was really, really good. Everybody already knew that. But Doc is putting a system around him to be great. And he doing it. You see the same thing with Ben, man. It's impressive. But I always tell people, like, Doc, one of my coaching, he's one of the guys I would like to be like as a coach, because he cares about his guys. And this is the right team for Doc at the right time. Things happen at the right time and the right things. And I think they got a chance to really take out Brooklyn. I think that's the hardest that's the monkey in the room, is Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I was against them necessarily, like, letting Harden get to Brooklyn, because I was like, man, we just don't want this dude to go to Brooklyn. Because I'm from Philly, so I'm going to cheer for Philly in the absent mind. I was like, you just don't want this dude to go to Brooklyn. And they let him go there, which I'm just like, and I know how good Harden is. I'm probably one of the biggest Harden fans. And I think that Doc believes that he can outcoach that.
Yeah.
And sometimes as a coach, you want a lesser team so you can coach, and you want guys that'll listen rather than having a dominant team and they just play it out.
Just play. At the end of the day, just play on one accord. Go ahead, John.
Do you think that it was a matter of being able to outcoach it, or realizing that what they would have had to give up, it wouldn't have worked for their team?
It could be a combination. I think two things could be true. I think when you look at it and you see that damn, maybe we don't want to give up this much. And in that same breath, you probably say, and I feel like we can use, because I don't want to give that up, I can coach this to beat that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like your mindset.
Yeah. It could definitely be two things that's true at the same time. But if you really believe that's true, people is not as smart basketball minds as they think they are. Because there's no way when you see an MVP on the market, you do not go after that. I don't care what you have to give up. If you can keep your best player and get an MVP with your best player, you always go after. That's the rule of thumb in basketball. If you get two MVP type of players, you always got it. You got a shot. You just piece it together.
Especially
I would disagree.
For him to land in your division too.
I would disagree. It's like, that's why the Houston Rockets got rid of James Harden. Like, that's why it didn't work.
They didn't get rid of him.
Also, I'm sorry, but you see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't work.
Wait, Seinfeld said it best. So my man, he said, "Wait, I didn't get canceled. Right. I got off the air. I chose to close this." Like, they tried their best to put things around him to keep him there. So don't say they got rid of him. He wanted to leave.
True indeed. So, like, it didn't work with Houston, with James Harden. It didn't work with Russ there. Like, I think the idea of just, we can get two really good guys that are talented, that are MVPs, and the rest will figure itself out. I don't know. I think we've seen teams try and fail at that. And not to say that they were trash, but if the ultimate goal is to win a championship, it's not NBA Jam. Like,
who had two MVP? Name two teams that had two MVP players at peak performance that didn't work. Because Kevin Durant and Steph Curry were at peak performance. Russell Westbrook wasn't at peak performance when he got there. This still triple-double Russ, but this is the lowest shot percentage he ever got there. Chris Paul was at the downturn of his career. He wasn't at his peak when he got there. And they lost to the champions every time, the eventual champions. Did it work or did it not really work? Like, it worked. Like, we went to Game 7. They took them the furthest anybody ever took them. It worked, yo. It worked.
My theory is like you're either winning when you're considered one of the upper echelon teams. You're either winning a championship or you're not. So
No, they were considered one of the upper echelon teams because they made it like that. They created their own destiny. Houston was not an upper echelon team. It's not like these dudes are like Harton, Tucker, Ariza, Bob Butte. You look at them, you're like, yo, they got a squad. No, Harton made them have a squad. Every night he coming and doing what he do is making it realistic that we got a chance to win a championship. And in the NBA, it's the one sport where no matter how people slice it and dice it, sometimes you just don't have enough. Sometimes it's not written in the forecast for you. And for me, I don't judge guys from champions because I think every measure, if they would have beat Golden State, it would have been more of a disappointment for Golden State than it would have been an achievement for the Rockets. Because Golden State with KD, if they lose, because that was the first when they first had KD, they almost lost to them. As soon as KD got there, imagine the news waves would have happened if they'd have lost in 7 to the Rockets. It'd have been a failure. What was y'all doing? What was going on? You got KD and Steph, two of the best scorers and most efficient players of all time in their era on the same team. And then you got Klay Thompson sitting over there.
Right.
You got Klay just sitting there waiting like, yo, I'm going to hit that shit. Like, so it's like, it's hard. The story be like people be writing these stories and they go in and they don't really sit there and read the whole script. Harden beat his script of basketball. So any dude that beat his script of basketball, the script was wrote for him to be a 6th man of the year, not to be an MVP candidate. He rewrote the script. So when rewriting the script, the Rockets were not supposed to be contenders. That was not supposed to be in the cards.
I feel you. So in the spirit of talking about contenders and talking about championship teams and what it takes to get there, I've been asking everybody who come on the show these questions. And do you think that we need another piece? And if so, who would it be? I know a lot of names have been thrown out there before. The top 2 in the league, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, but I don't think we're going to be able to land either one of them.
Not going to be able to do that.
Exactly. A lot more realistic names have been coming down the fold. I've been hearing of George Hill. I've been hearing of Kyle Lowry. I've been hearing of Scary Terry. What are your thoughts? Yeah. and
Terry Rozier?
Yeah, Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier is we're going to talk about it. We're going to chop it up. And I want to toss this out there because it's also a hot topic and it's also on our docket tonight. But keep in mind, keeping this question in mind, the Rockets and DeMarcus Cousins are expected to part ways in the coming days. So I had a question. Somebody asked me, how do I think Boogie is here? I don't want Boogie here. I think Dwight and Joel is enough, and we need more playmakers. But I do see a lot of these contenders and people who are in the mix looking and going after the likes of a DeMarcus Cousins. So start with who you think the Sixers need. Do you like these names that are being thrown out there? Do you have any names of your own? And then we can kind of open that up to the league and just the moving and shaking that'll probably happen before the trade deadline comes.
I like.
It don't matter. Just give me a fire off.
Play with the hand that you're dealt. Like, play with the hand that you got. Like, this hand that you currently have is the number 1 team in the East, right? Obviously, the Nets are the Nets. They're a 3-headed monster. But if you can keep developing young guys, if you can see what Maxey can bring you, because I think that you mentioned, I think defensively they're solid. I think that what you're looking to bring in is somebody else to get you buckets. The question is, how does that affect the chemistry of the lineup as it's currently rolling? Mm-hmm. So are you bringing in another guard, and then that guard is taking away minutes from Korkmaz, who I don't love at all, but then are you throwing Korkmaz on the court and saying, yo, give me 10-minute a game Korkmaz in a 4-minute stretch? Like, are you asking him to do that? Is he capable of doing it? How does that affect the dominoes for the rest of your squad?
If we worried about Korkmaz, we worried about the wrong damn thing. You going after a champion. This is my only problem with Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Y'all play 2 sides. Y'all want it to be one way when it's one way. If you're gonna go after the chip, go after the chip, bro. This is not 1992. No, in 1992, you could do this. How y'all doing it is perfect. In 1992, 94, 95, Well, 92, because 95, 96, 97 was when it started transitioning. When Penny and Shaq started beefing in Orlando, that long-term stuff was over with. You can't go 10 years because Hakeem Olajuwon still with the Rockets for 12, 13 years, and you just consistently just built, let pieces fall off, let him fall off. Dog, you know the next thing you do, if you don't go somewhere and then Ben, they looking at Ben, next thing you know, Ben like, yo, I want to be out. Now you're not getting nothing for Ben.
Right.
As soon as he acts out, and that's what I said, the NBA just go from year to year now.
It's a different game. I get that. What I'm saying is middle of the season to just say, oh, we're bringing you here because of what you've done in the league, and then just expecting that to work out on the team. Like that time period to do that is short because then you're going to the playoffs and you're playing Bucks second round. You're playing
Are you good enough to beat them right now?
I think so.
In how many games?
6.
If you got to go 6, that means you could go 7. If you can't say, I'm going to beat these teams in 5 or 4, you need to make a move. That means you're dominant enough.
Scooter's coming with his.
What's your move?
Because it's like once you say 6 or 7, anybody could win. Like you could say anybody's going to win. That's what I'm saying. They evenly match. You want to tip the scale because Brooklyn is like, we beating everybody in 5. That's how they coming with it. And that's how they played it this season. Like we beating everybody in 5, and we facing Lakers.
So what is your move? You say you don't want a big. What's your move?
If you don't have to give up Tobias, Ben or JoJo, which them 2 or 3 is untouchables right now. Any piece you can add that can 16, 17, 18 points in a half court setting, Terry Rozier would be perfect here because you can have him long term too, and they could build over time, and that would go into what y'all already saying. That would be perfect. But on some short term.
Do you recall Terry Rozier trying to figure it out in Boston?
Terry Rozier never had to figure it out in Boston. He went from a rookie to a second year to a third year player. Once he hit his third year, he went from not getting no minutes to getting minutes behind Kyrie and then hitting shots in Bledsoe's face and calling him Drew Bledsoe.
He was balling. What I'm saying is like as far as them winning games during the
season. They always was in the playoffs, bro.
Why you single out Drew Bledsoe of everybody, dog?
Shout out to my man Eric Bledsoe, man. My man. He did say Bledsoe said, I don't even know Boy's name. Boy Crosby sent him out of bounds.
That's why.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. So he said, shout out to Drew Bledsoe and wore the Drew Bledsoe jersey. Like that's swag right there, bro. Like that boy good. I watch Terry Rozier on a nightly basis put up a dub. That boy good. I don't know if MJ moving him. MJ might give him the bag. Because MJ don't tank. We know Jordan to take the AFC any day.
So how do y'all feel about George Hill and Kyle Lowry? I mean, if we talking about just playmakers, if we talking about people, because I feel like one of our weaknesses is two that I see. Is one is down the stretch, decision making when the game is close, when the game gets tight. Sometimes we get stagnant and we can't get a bucket, we can't score. That's why we need another playmaker. I feel like.
Last night.
Yeah, and when
last night was a perfect example of it, and you cannot go into the playoffs like that. Like you can't go in like that.
And even earlier in the game, when Ben is getting his breathers earlier in the game, we kind of get stagnant also because when Ben goes out, we don't have another playmaker. Shake Milton just came back in the lineup last night, but you kind of want Shake Milton to be that professional scorer coming off the bench versus being a playmaker and trying to get other people involved. Me personally, that's how I would love Shake. Just worry about scoring.
Let's keep it 100. We'll keep it 100. If Kyle Lowry could come here, and Kyle Lowry being from North Philly and wanting to win, if he wants to come here, because the Philly dudes sometimes don't want to come here. Right. But if he wants to come here, Shake gonna shake himself out the door. He gonna be shit. Because first and foremost, Kyle brings defense. Kyle know how to play the game. You don't have to worry about Kyle on any angle or everything, and he gonna bring that a nuisance. And he know where to put the ball at.
And he can say this now.
Yep, and he got a ring. He got a chance, and he been at every conference finals known to man in the last 5 years.
And he's already played on the highest stage at every other level here at home. And I think that would be the what they call it, the
cap off. That would cap his career off.
Yep.
If he on the bubble for Hall of Fame, he come here in Philadelphia and win it.
Even
if he Hall of Fame in the Massachusetts, he Hall of Fame in Philadelphia. Yep. And it depends if because Kyle don't, you know how Kyle move. Kyle might not even want to be here. You know what I'm saying? But I think it would be perfect if you could get Kyle. George Hill, no, just stay what you got. No.
I think a 2020. I think a 2021 Kyle might. I want to disagree with you, Scoop. I think a 2021 Kyle might want to be here, just for the reasons that I just said. He got he got the ring. I know. I'm just, and this is just me. This is my hot take. This is me, my opinion. But he got the ring now. And the reason why I think a lot of guys don't want to come home is because they want to stay focused. They know us. Like, you know what I mean? When the Twins come home, they know they're gonna come holler at Scoop. Scoop gonna be with the shits on some kind of level, or you know what I'm saying? You kind of want to be focused and stay focused. But I think at this juncture in the road in his career, I think that Kyle is Kyle. He's already solidified.
I don't disagree with you.
And you're also looking at the idea of like, how long is he here for? Because this is a bubble season. So like, you're here, but you don't got to worry about the nuances that you normally would have to worry about: tickets, getting people to game, all that other like outside stuff.
Yeah. If you have to get rid of Tyrese Maxey for him, I don't know. Like, I kind of look at it a little funny. I would give up a first round pick for him instead of a player that's already there.
And I know this is my bias. If anybody listened to any of the previous episodes this season, but it's hard for me to give Tyrese because I just see I'm trying to have foresight. I'm trying to work on foresight in life, and he's somebody that I look at 4 or 5 years down the road. He's gonna be one of them Bulls, man. And
I don't know if he's gonna be that in a Sixers uniform.
And that's you took the words right out of my mouth, Scoop. I want him to be, but it might actually take him not being in our uniform for him to become that.
But this goes back to the earlier conversation. I was talking about like minutes. Out there, because I know that Tone, you aren't a Cork Mouse fan. But at the end of the
day, he be shutting me the fuck up so much. Like it's like he be hearing me, dog. Like, and it frustrates me, but it's all contributing to win. So I'm not complaining, man.
Yeah, no, like at the end of the day, if you're saying that like we have something here with Maxey, do you sacrifice that? Because saying, all right, cool, Maxey, you in the building, we keeping you here, but Kyle is getting some of your minutes. Now he has to figure out what his role is in that versus just saying, listen, go out here, do your thing, do the dribble hesitation, get to the basket floater, like just work on that. Right, like right now, that's what he's giving you. He's perfecting that he's giving you that in his skill set. You keep switching that up, he ends up you don't know what you have after 4 or 5 years because moving him to get somebody else who's veteran to get the go right now. Allow him to build, have the foresight to say, yes, we're rocking with him, he can develop, or no, get him out of here, but not now.
Okay, I'm going to tell y'all a story.
Go ahead, Scoop. There
was a team with 3 MVP candidates, right? And it was in the middle of America, and they went to the championship and lost, and they never, ever, 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 ever went to the championship again because they were sitting back developing players consistently. A lot of players left. Do you want to be that team? Like, I think you go for it. You have to go for it. Like, just go for it. Guards are a dime a dozen. We just ran through all these guards that we found that were good. There's a guard in every draft. Like, we could easily just go back and say, yo, 1 year, Joe Embiid, Ben Simmons, y'all not playing this year. We're going to get another guard in the draft. We're going to get it's Tyrese Maxey, Derrick Rose.
If you go, no, but if you go for it.
I don't want to answer that question.
Is that his ceiling?
I want to answer that question in like 3 years, dog. Like,
is that his ceiling?
No.
Is that his ceiling?
You go for it. You don't go for number 1 seed in the league, and you're like, all right, we're going to shuffle the number 1 seed in the East and shuffle the deck.
You just lost 4. You just lost what? 3. You lost the last 3 out of 4.
Out of 4, I think it is.
You number 1 seed, and Brooklyn won what, 5 in a row on a road trip?
Reaping.
It's ring the Liberty Bell. You need to bring something in here, or just say, you know what, we ain't that good. We'll fight Brooklyn what we got, and it stay where you at. But I don't.
Well, they may. I don't. Let me be clear. I am confident. I think that the team that we have now, as built, can definitely go toe to toe with anybody with the league's best. I would feel more confident making a move and getting a piece. I would, just for those 2 moments in the games that I see. And I don't want these games that we're losing now to become our Achilles heel with all the development that we've been having. And I don't think that Doc is, I don't think Doc stays stagnant and takes that lightly. I think we make a move, because if amongst all the things that Scoot is saying, amongst Doc being the father figure, the player's coach because he's been in that position as a player in this league. You know what I mean? I think that's why so many players relate to him also. I mean, when Brett Brown was here and I was calling for Brett Brown's head, people were asking me, who did I want to be coach? I didn't know exactly, couldn't put my finger on it, but these are the characteristics that I was spitting out. Somebody who used to play in the league versus an old mustache Pete who's coaching from a textbook or from this position. I need somebody who's actually been in the same position as these players that can give it to them from a bird's eye view versus a coach player. That clashes a lot in 2021. So all that being said, from what I've seen in Doc's also not scared to pull that trigger and make a move.
Never been scared to make a move.
He's never been scared. He has a nice balance of all of kind of the old school, of kind of the player's coach, and of kind of understanding the moment and the urgency and his personnel and rearranging it to whereas he can go to war and feel confident in himself. So I don't think that we stand. I don't. Just for me and seeing how Doc has gone in the past, I don't think we stay with this same roster. That's just my opinion.
I think that I don't think they stay with this. I think they're going to add some pieces, but I don't think nobody on the Sixers bench is that strong where we don't move them. Where you don't I'm speaking from we now because I'm with y'all and y'all struggle. I don't see no Jason Terry on the bench. I don't see no future. Tyrese Maxey to me, he could be a Lou Will. He could be a good player. I believe he could be a real good player, but he's not going to get the reps here to become great, or he going to have to change his game to be in a straight two. Yeah. Eventually, but you got an all-star sitting right there that's from your city that you could pick up. If you can get rid of some of them guys and then you could go get the guys off of veteran minimums and put all those pieces together, because Doc can get those guys. We couldn't get those guys before because none of them really wanted to come here because of the coach, but all those guys love Doc. Like anybody getting cut, because the Lakers wanted to cut some people sooner because they're going to make a trade. So Lakers wanted to cut some vets. Clippers might cut some vets, so you'd be able to piece that together. But if Tyrese Maxey only playing 10, 15 minutes, sometimes you got to let your child be great somewhere else. You got to love him, so you got to love him from far away. Markelle Fultz, we've seen it with Markelle Fultz. He's pretty good somewhere else. He was never going to reach that peak here. That's the sad part about Philadelphia. Sometimes dudes is just in your way. Like, you just can't get there. Like, he's playing 10 minutes a night. I mean, if you could go get Maxey, say if Norman Powell going to come here and Kyle Lowry, and you got to get rid of Maxey to get that, man, go get that.
I like it.
I'm not mad at that combo at all. I think you need a little bit more than a 1-for-1 though, in my opinion.
I agree with that too, John.
Ain't gonna be no 1-for-1. You rarely see a 1-for-1. That's rare in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, at this point we can't. I think we're past the only kind of 1-for-1s you getting is guy A for guy A. That's the only kind of number ones you getting. Superstar for superstar.
Yeah, you ain't going, and that's rare.
It's even to the point now where sometimes you got to get a third team involved just to get your shit off in this league. So
I don't think it's to get anything off.
Yeah, I'm referring to all right, like we're taking on these two pieces, but neither one of these guys gonna play. He gonna get waived, or we gonna take this random draft pick. Like if you're making a trade, you need to know that more than one person that's coming over is going to make an immediate contribution on your playoff roster.
I agree.
I see that. I feel you on that. But if you get Kyle Lowry, bro, I don't see no reason where it's not nobody on this roster where it's like, as long as I'm not giving up 3 pieces or nothing like that, there's not nobody on this roster that's really untouchable. And I think Philly always has a problem with having untouchables and then thinking it's too long term. They either think too short term or too long term. This deal don't hurt you. And he's on a 1 year. You got 1 year left. He comes off the books. You can go get some pieces after that. You go fix that up. You could definitely go fix that up. Like, it ain't a problem to fix that part up. I don't know. Kyle on the books, 1 to win, man, give me Kyle any day. I'll sit in a pit bull fight with Kyle. For real. That's on them.
So kind of switching gears and kind of staying on the same, piggybacking off of Joel's 50. We've seen something unprecedented go on, and I don't think it's getting enough attention. Jamal Murray on the same night scored 50 with 0 free throw attempts. 0. Do y'all think that that's a sign of the game, where the game is going, or is that just elite scoring at the highest level?
I got a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Go ahead, John. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first. Honestly, with defense now, the way the NBA is going, it is a sign of the game, because I was researching one day and realizing that, first and foremost, whoever has the ball in their hand is unguardable. That's one. And two is the fact that the closeouts are happening so slow now because the floor is so spread. So you're gonna see a lot of this now because dudes are just literally taking shots. Like they're just taking shots. They don't even have to. It's a shot game now. It's not about possessions. It used to be a possession game. It used to be let's get the most out of every possession. Now it's like, and I coach like this. Unfortunately, I tell my team take shots. I don't care what happens. I just want a shot, and I want a shot as fast as possible. So with this in the NBA now, you're going to see a lot of this because some dudes don't even have to attack the basket anymore because they just taking shots. And the person with the ball, unguardable. Like, he's a step back, you can't guard it no more. Because if I pump fake, you get off your feet. It's an and one now. So now you got to just let that guy make or miss. So I'll shake your head.
Not to sound like the old man in the room, but like you gotta knock him on his ass, like one time. Like I understand he took a lot of
three shots and you got a flagrant.
Yeah.
Like I understand
and
he
that's
took
gonna
a
cost
lot
you money.
of jump shots, but at some point he going to the rack, and at some point when you go to the rack, like you gotta put a body on him. You got to pick him up full court. You got to do something for somebody to get off 50 piece off from the field. You can't watch that.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Didn't they lose that game too?
I'm not sure.
I think they lost that game because
you're not the old man in the room because I agree 100%. Not Scoot 50 points and not one free throw attempt. I'm not trying to hear that fine. I'm not trying to hear what I gotta pay or nothing. The integrity of the game gotta come intact at some point, dog. 50 with no free throws. Did you pinch the bench? Like, did you?
look, you guys say, look, these dudes make way too much money to be trying to injure each other on that because they
won.
I'm not talking about injury. You're saying like, yo, I gotta grab you.
It wasn't an N1 school. Yo, not even an N1 school.
Guess what?
I'm not talking about Bill and beer. I'm just saying, yo, I'm getting up in your jersey.
Yeah.
The ref going to give me 2-3 personal fouls in 3-4 minutes, but I'm letting you know that I'm here. I'm trying to tire you out. Something like you're just not getting off 50 points without getting.
It's regular season. That's the biggest thing. You won't see that in the playoffs. It's regular season, so it's like, man, whatever. You got it. Just like I think one time Jamal Murray had 50 against Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving threw the ball in the crowd. And because he shot the last shot to get his 50. And he's like, oh, you cheese for your you stole your 50 ball, go get your 50 basketball out the crowd. That's his first time scoring 50, and he threw it up to the basketball in the crowd. But I mean, it just happens now, man. Like, this is something I remember back in the 90s. You know what was a thing? When you made 7 threes. Remember that was like a thing? Like you go 7 for 7 from the 3-point line with Glenn Rice and all them dudes. They were like running across yeah, it was a thing, and I think it's just a thing now where everybody is you just cannot guard people. Like they don't want defense in the NBA. They just don't want it.
They don't. I think that the main objective of the sell tickets. I think the main objective is entertainment. But I think that that's being compromised in COVID. I know COVID was mentioned, and I think that that's being compromised because when the fans are not there and there's nobody to pander what you've kind of geared the game towards, people who watch and love basketball kind of see the chinks in the armor. Like, you don't even need to do that. There's nobody here that's gonna, you know what I mean?
Hold on, wait. I stand corrected. This is the first time that ever happened. This is an anomaly. Like, this is something rare. Right. We can't go panicking. This is something that never happened.
I'm not panicking, but not one free throw, Scoop.
Bro, he paid the Cavs. He didn't need to get a free throw. Like, I got a Kuru guarding me. I just realized, like, he played the Cavs. He didn't wait the Cavs. Like, I don't need a free throw. I'm not going to the lane.
Hard. You making your arguments real hard to debate tonight, man.
Like, they played the Cavs. Like, they're like 13th in the East. They suck. Like,
just one. If anything, the team that suck, I would think that they play a little bit rougher than the team that actually is playing basketball out there. Wouldn't you? That's how it used to be.
Wait, so hold on. If you bad at your job, right? Is you really gonna be better? Is you really gonna care?
Like, you realize that like this might be my last year getting NBA checks. Like that's it. Like it's top 300 some position jobs in the league. So if you're like, yo, we're on a trash team, I'm getting cooked. I gotta do something.
How
Something.
old are you, John?
Say
Just
what?
throw it around about age.
I'm 34.
I'm 35. Tone to 35. Tony 35, 36.
36. We all in the same.
All right. So wait. You thinking realistically? These niggas is 19 and 21 on the Cavs, bro. They don't have no realistic. This is forever for them. They think this forever. They not gonna have no urgency. They've been bad since they've been in the NBA. They don't know how it feel to be good. They don't know. They've been bad. Bron left them. Bron was never with them. Ain't one of them dudes on the team that played with LeBron. They gonna let it ride. They don't know. They don't have no culture. They best player is Andre Drummond. They told him go home. They don't.
Listen, I overstate you, but it's just somebody that played that night had to be like, yo, this is ridiculous. You gotta get touched at some point. But like you say, culture plays a factor. Culture plays a factor.
What you're saying, Scoop, but the majority, I want to agree with Cousin John. Like you gotta grab him as a man. You gotta get mad. This like the same dude just keep hitting the bucket. Like that's gonna piss me off. That's gonna make my mind go out of basketball to make me want to do something like that. Don't not do something not harsh, but just I gotta come on,
so
man.
we from a different generation. I agree with you. But these dudes shake each other here, and after they hit threes and stuff like that, they just different. Like it's a different generation.
Also, we talked about a COVID season. There's no fans. Nobody's there to watch you. Like you don't feel the heat of I invited my joint to the game. Like my uncle here. I saw it.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
You don't have any of that pressure.
Hold on.
So
Tone can speak to this.
Damn, he got 50. That's crazy.
No, Tone can speak to this, bro. It's nothing worse than getting cooked with nobody in the gym.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the worst feeling in the world because you got nobody to look to. You can't say the crowd was on you. You can't say nothing. You just looking at every bucket like, damn.
100%.
And your teammates just looking at you like, damn, he
100% focus is on the fire that's going that you just cannot put out, dog. Like you just keep looking at the fire get doused and doused. The flames is just, and you looking for some solidarity. Like Scoot said, you looking for some. It's nothing there, dog. Like
and you look to the crowd like. Let's go,
a touchdown scrimmage on a Saturday morning in 2004, dog. It happened to us, dog. It was nobody there but just us in Kutztown, and it was like
And that worst feel is when your teammates, when you having a good night, and then you go sit in the room, and then they're like, man, you wasn't doing that on Sean Singletary. He gave you 50. We was all there. And then everybody got that one story. Like, man, yeah, he gave Tone 50. Everybody was there.
Right.
Like, hey, not worse than that empty gym, right? That empty gym, right? Oh, it's the worst. You'd be like, God.
So I think that no matter what our answer is, because I'm you guys are too I feel what both of you guys are saying. Scoot, you saying it's a new generation, man. These guys are from another generation. It's just how it is right now. John, I'm kind of with you in saying that even that taken into consideration, something needs to happen. But no matter what it is, it seems like we're all in agreement that it's a sign of the times that's going on right now, man. Like it's not
in this regular season.
Not to take anything away from Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray is super nice. We actually seen him do this on the highest level in the playoffs in the bubble last year. Fighting tooth and nail for his team, to go to that game 7 and have as much playoff life as they had last year. So I don't want to take anything away from him in his 50-point effort with no free throws. But God, man, like something's gotta give.
Wait, hold on. Before you move on. Wait. Jamal Murray had 50 with no free throws.
Moving on.
That's tough.
That's tough, man.
But wait,
on the flip side, like maybe the Cavs is onto something. We not about to let them have 65, 70 tonight. Because if you go to the line, they might be onto something. I'm not letting Boy have 65, 70 points tonight. We're not following him. That might be the game plan.
That's a sick point of view. We not letting him get 65, 70.
We're going to settle 65 people.
And it's a regular. The worst part about it, the best and worst part about it is that it's regular season. Like they care, but Cleveland doesn't know how to care. That's why you have to put the vets on the team. They don't. Who is their coach? We don't even know their coach name. Like we don't nobody know who Cleveland Cavaliers coach is. We know the owner. We know Dan Gilbert because he wrote the letter to LeBron. But we don't know coach name. Like they don't even have a good who they got. Bickerstaff, right? I think Bickerstaff coach though.
He must be doing a better job than the Timberwolves coach. That joker just got fired. So
man, shout out to Ryan, man. I was rooting for Ryan heavy. I was rooting for Ryan heavy, bro. It's messed up because Ryan didn't get a chance. I think they did that to pacify like his father passing away, Flip Saunders, and also effing KG over because KG was supposed to be like ownership or a GM or something like that. And Ryan didn't get a chance. Ryan had 8 games with his best 2 players on the court.
And for those of y'all listeners who don't know who Scoot's talking about, he's talking about Ryan Saunders, the Minnesota Timberwolves coach who just got fired, son of the late Flip Saunders, historical great Hall of Fame. I don't know if Flip made the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame NBA coach, Flip Saunders. Yeah, man. So Jamal Murray went crazy. I want to switch gears a little bit to off court. And I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, man. Kyrie Irving has been displaying some behavior. I won't put a label on it because that's the conversation that I kind of want to have. But just to take it outside of the NBA and just to on court and talking X's and O's like we've been doing for the last bit of time. We're in a pandemic. I've been saying that. I got a podcast called COVID Chronicles. We all have been dealing with this COVID-19 thing at some level. Kyrie Irving says some things. He says some things. He acts away. He's moving in a dip to a different tune than what we here in America, I would say, expect from our celebrities. But for me, everybody know Uptown Tone, how I carry it. I'm kind of open-minded. I'm a critical thinker. Some of these things that he's saying, I can fuck with. You know what I mean? And I think that he's got a new quotable, or not a new quotable, like he's doing this thing to have quotables. I don't want to give it that context. I mean, I want to be responsible with my media voice here. But he has quoted as recently saying something to the effect that all your celebrities are not what you think. Like we're all not just concerned with ourselves and our our fame and our notoriety. Some of us kind of come, do our skill, appreciate the art in that, you know what I mean, and go home and want to assume a little less should I say star-studded or in the life. You know what I mean? And like I said, I think he's being brave. I think because a lot of the ways, a lot of the things, a lot of the situations he's been in, people kind of look at it with a fine-tooth comb. They look at it with the magnifying glass, like, is Kyrie, is he genuine with it? But regardless if you think he's genuine with it or not, I think the things that he's saying have some merit, especially in the times that we're in. Sometimes we look at people a lot and say that, not even people, but these celebrities, these entertainers, these basketball players, they make X amount of dollars, so they shouldn't have. And I kind of had to just explain something on the last episode about when Draymond said what he said. And I had to tell people, like, sometimes you got to scale it. Like if I'm at work and I'm a thousandaire, and we all know we all complain at work, and we're complaining about our bosses and our owners and our CEOs who are presumably millionaires, then it kind of would make sense for Draymond, a millionaire, to be complaining about his boss or his leadership who's billionaires. If you scale it, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's different scales. So I wanted to open up the floor to ask you guys, what do you think about Kyrie? I know I seen a picture of him walking with a stick. When he was out and not in the NBA, he was actually leading poetry circles and hopping into conversations about things that are going on in the news and the civil rights issues and the COVID issues and different things. So I just really wanted to ask you guys, what do y'all think about that, and how much stock do you put in that, and where do you put that stock?
Want me to go first?
Go, Scoop. Let me hear from you, Scoop. You've been killing it, Scoop, so go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna put it like this: Kyrie, the philanthropist. That's the best people who donate money, right? Because y'all went to college, I didn't.
Donate money, donate time, donate themselves just to a cause.
Kyrie, the philanthropist, is all that. But I think in layman's terms and hood terms, my homie called me one day, and me and my man Ada had a talk, and I hate to. But he said, man, the dude is a dude without a country at this point right now. And he's so in between worlds that he don't know. Like one day you'll see him being a philanthropist and holding it down and saying, I got to take a break from basketball for my mental health. And another day you might see him shaking and shucking and jiving without a mask and putting everybody's life in danger that's on his team. You never know with him. And I think he just found out. It's like when he reminds me of myself when I first read the Malcolm X book. I read the Malcolm X book when I was like 13, 14, and it just like had me. It's not something a 13 or 14-year-old should read without a parent next to him, yo.
Right, without some kind of.
It's a very powerful book, and I think he just read the celestial prophecies and the all that stuff like that, and he's over. I think sometimes he can overdo, and when I say you can overdo, it's like if you're going to be in that world, I don't play with that world. That world of philanthropy and all that stuff like that, that's not nothing to play with. If you're going to be on that side, do it. But don't challenge the status quo at the same time when you really want to be a part of the status quo. The status quo just getting on your nerves. Don't do that. Don't flip. Like when they get on your nerves with the media ain't good. But then you use them monopolizing the media like, yeah, we want LeBron. We want them. We want the Lakers. I want them at full house. I want to play them. Oh, but I thought you didn't want to talk to the media. Now you want to talk to the media when you win it. He's just somebody that just relies me as somebody that when it's going good, it's going great. But when it's going bad, you have no idea what this man is going through. Right. And I mean, he's an amazing basketball player. I tell you that all the time. But him as a philanthropist, keep donating your money, keep donating your time, keep doing that, keep that energy. But I need you to keep that energy here and stay there all the time. All the time. Like, deliver that woke message in your press conferences. Nobody going to find you. Nobody going to tell you stop. You got the second highest selling sneaker on Nike. They can't do nothing to you. Keep delivering them messages. Stay woke, my brother. Like, do it. But then people connecting him to, like, oh, he's like, we got to protect Kyrie. Protect Kyrie from what? Like, what? They not going to kill no Kyrie, bro. He like Nipsey Hussle and Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton died for the cause. Please do not connect him with Martin Luther King. Do not connect him with Fred Hampton. Do not connect him with them powerful people. He's doing what a rich person is supposed to do. A rich black person. I ain't saying they're supposed to do, but rich black people do donate all the time. Right. And I salute him for that. I commend him for that. But on the other hand of that, my family's is Bay. They're Bays. They're Moors. I celebrate Kwanzaa. So to somebody who woke, I'm happy you open your eyes. Let's see you be all the. Let's see you go Craig Hodges with it. Do sacrifice their careers for it. Do sacrifice their careers for this. Like if you're gonna sacrifice your career for it, but if you're gonna be a part of the movement and just spread the money. Do it. You don't gotta be front line. It always was brothers who wasn't front line. You don't gotta be front line. Spread that paper. Keep doing your Instagram posts. But don't fool the people, man, because you're deceiving the people at this point. And you got them thinking you something you're not, and that's the worst part about it. Because when it come down to it, you just found out it was like 10 years ago where you was like, you made a protest about not dating black women. It wasn't that long ago. I remember this stuff. It wasn't that long ago. Like you woke, but you like, is you really out here? Like when the last time you've been in North Jersey and you go help them kids in North Jersey? When the last time you ran a bus to the suburbs, from the hood to the suburbs, and had touched them kids? When the last time you did that? When the last time you did that? Like, that's what I want to know. When you touch the people, like, no, it's okay. You did George Floyd. That's fine. But did you go do somebody in your neighborhood or somebody in the neighborhood that interjects you?
Cousin John?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It bothers me the amount of like, this is what you're supposed to do. Like as an athletes are the only people that get put in a box of like, oh, you're the flashy superstar. You're the take care of the people superstar. You're the date the Instagram model superstar. Like, yo, why can't I just on Wednesday, I want to chill with this joint I bagged off IG, and on Thursday I want to show up and give out turkeys. Because as a human being, that's what your life is like. I write children's books. I'm not on here rhyming and flipping pages. I be talking sports to that, and that's okay. Nobody like, yo, saw the boy cousin John, wasn't reading no book, dog. That doesn't happen. You mean like that doesn't happen in anybody else's life? So like it happened for Kyrie, and the problem is, I shouldn't say the problem. What ends up happening is he don't know how to deal with it. It's a lot of pressure. Like every time somebody hollers at you, they asking you about that, and he doesn't have the. You know what? I'm just not going to talk about it. Like whatever's going on in his mind, whatever's going on when he has the like there's what's in his mind. There's the question that he's being asked 30, 40 times a day. There's what he says, and then there's a soundbite that we're provided and we're allowed to have and digest. And then everybody talks about it. He's a human being of this generation. He goes online, he gets fed up and flustered with whatever he sees. We don't know specifically what he sees. Like we see what the comments are as a whole. We don't know how that man takes that. So then in turn, he gives out something else. And then we are left to interpret that and say, be the basketball player, be Pope John Paul the 16th. And there's no room for in between. Like I think it's dope. Personally, I think it's dope that Kyrie is willing to share those parts of his life and those things that are involved, that he's involved in. And the athletes that you see where it's like, yo, man, he's a real quiet guy. I don't think those athletes are that quiet. They just don't feel like dealing with none of this.
I agree. And
So
I ain't mad at them.
Yeah, but know what I mean? But then you're not mad at them, but it's, yo, you're not marketable. We can't figure out how to market you. How do we do X, Y, Z? That athlete might be like, man, I wish I could talk. But if I do, I got to deal with that.
There's a lot of them, and that's why I say in life there's choices. So when you choose, you can't. It's like this. Like when you choose a path, and that's certain things. Like me and my comedy career, I feel as though I do stand up, and I don't want to be pigeonholed. So there's only so far I go within certain things and lanes because I want to be able to go do other things. So it's like I won't go so far into this because if I do this, I can't be looked at serious as a basketball trainer. I can't be looked at serious as a scout. I can't be looked at serious in these ways because if I go make this happen, it's part of life. You get labeled with anything you do. Whether you go to jail one time in your life, like what they say, Beyonce, do you know your husband sold drugs? Like it's just the reality of the thing. So if you create this lane, do everything, and then you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna be woke. I'm fine with you being woke, and I'm fine with you standing. But then you Indian and black, like what are we doing? Like it's like Tiger Woods at this point, bro. Like
I guess that's my point. Like you said, like, yo, there's only so far that you're willing to go, and you're making that conscious decision. Like he's not showing up to the games in full Native American garb. Like he's not. I don't think the level of like information he's providing is going all in. He's just saying like, hey, this is a part of me. And this is a part of who I am.
Hold on. Did you see when he introduced the crowd? He came to the crowd and did the introduction and said, yeah, my name is Tonto. I represent the Sioux tribe and everything like that. When people do that, I always pay attention to what you say and what you do. Because when you do that and then you teeter us, because when our plight was big and it was big inside the media, he was all, I'm reformed, I'm this. All that political stuff. And then now you writing this Native American thing, walking around with sticks and all that. Pick a side, bro. Like if you and our plight is crazy. Our plight is crazy as African Americans. Ally or not sometimes, bro. Sometimes it's ally or not because we don't have that many people as big as we are and as much as we've grown. When you choose to speak for us, you got to stay with us. That's just how, I told you, I said I've been raised by bays. I've been raised by bays and not the ones in South Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, once you speak for us, you got to stand on that. And that's why that's why I stay away from certain things. I stay away from certain topics. And, that's why these black leaders come to these guys. Like, yo, if you're going to speak for us, these are the messages that need to be delivered. Like Fred Hampton and them went to people like, yo, this is the message we going with. This is what we doing. So if you want to be looked at and nose back and then be putting yourself, aligning yourself with these people and saying I'm willing to die for the cause, but you're not willing to pay fines. Like I pay attention. I watch this boy. I read the headlines. I wish I could have a sit down with them because it's like people think I hate Kyrie. I love Kyrie since he was at Duke. I seen Kyrie play at the Eddie Griffin Challenge. It's one of the most amazing players. Like, he's the best guard I ever seen close up with my own eyes in my life. The kid literally can do anything with a basketball. And I'm not telling him to shut up and dribble. I love the fact that he's woke, but I just want to know your stance. Like, let's make it clear so I can ride with you. I could ride with you. I had the same problem with Cap at first. Like, okay. And then once I found out Cap's stance, and I was like, that's what we going with? And that's what you're doing? All right, I'm rocking with you because I'm never going to go for anybody that's doing a political statement or anything like that. I just want to know what you stand for.
I don't think that's unfair to ask somebody to pick a side, not pick a side and stay there, but to just be clear on what your stance is. I don't think that's unfair. Go ahead, John.
You ever think that these individuals aren't necessarily clear on what their stance is? Like, yo, I'm for this cause. This is the information I know, and that's what I'm riding with. And then you get asked questions you don't know the answer to, and they're not necessarily in a position to say like, well, I don't know. Let me get back to you. Feel like he has to say something.
They teach you there's power. Not only I just got finished watching. You not only just have a microphone in your face anymore. You can create your own messages now. Like he's creating his own messages. So if you don't know what you're going to say, you know how many times I done deleted tweets or deleted Instagram posts or said, this is not what I want to say, or deleted text and said, this is not what I want to say. Let me sit down and think about it. Bro, you went to Duke for 3 months, bro. You did PR work. You knew you were going #1 since you was in 11th, 12th grade. They knew you was going #1. He had PR work. He's doing what he wants to do. And then we sit here and he wants to be a hot topic. Because if you don't want to be a hot topic, guess what you don't do? You don't talk. But that's what he did. He talked about basketball in front of them press conferences and then got right on his Instagram to build another thing. To build something else.
I think that if you take Kyrie's actions and think about the people, like just scroll through your phone and like just look at the people that you know, there's somebody that you know whose number you have in your phone that does similar things. But it's like that's just who they are, and you not to say that you let it rock out, but that's what you expect from them. Sometimes they be on point. Sometimes you just got like, I ain't really paying them no mind today. And that's just where I'm at with Kyrie personally. I think that because we give him the microphone and the platform and the sound bites and the clicks, because the clicks is what it's all about. Like him going on rants and going on tangents and saying things that might not be informed. You could easily just be like, yo, Kyrie don't sound like he's that informed about this. We're going to move on. But people are getting paid off of clicking on it. So it's all right. And I get your frustration, but at the same time, Kyrie is just in his head, this all makes sense to me. We've all been in a situation at some point in time in our life where we say, you know what? I was drawing. I jumped out the window. You might come back and say like, yo, I stand on that. It's just that he has a platform that he is.
I do it once a week. But I just did it just now because I said stay on that side or to pick a side, and Tone cleared it up, and I'm happy he cleared it up because I don't really mean to pick a side. I just want to know what you mean, because there are people who follow people in blind. 98.7% of the people in the world are stupid, and they following you. He's very popular. He's liked a lot, bro. He's very popular.
Where's that 98.7 stat from?
Man, I made that up. I ain't got no Googles or nothing, but I just know I run across more stupid people than smart.
I know that's right.
But I just say that a lot of people can't figure out their own messages, and he is a leader because he's popular. Popularity can mean something. That's why in high school, you ever notice the debate team and the president of the school and all that stuff like that rarely wasn't an athlete. Rarely was it was like valedictorian or somebody who was real popular that had good grades because it was requirements to do that. Now you could be a leader and literally just get on your phone and say, yo, because what if he get on all this next week and be like, everybody calling him Fred Hampton and Nipsey Hussle and all that, and then he go on his phone and like, put up a big Instagram story. Psych. What happens to all people that followed him? And I'm like, I told y'all, he tripping. Like, and it's grown people that follow a 27-year-old. He's 27. I expect him to do this stuff.
But what I'm saying is like everything that you said about the other people, right? I just don't understand. It sounds like I'm not a role model 2K21. Like, yo, I'm saying these things. This is how I feel. If y'all decide to rock out with me, that's on you.
Don't say I'm not a role model and then say I die for the cause. I die for this. Like I think Kyrie be on drugs, bro. I don't even gotta be my political self because this ain't Check Rock podcast, but I think he might be on something a little bit.
Ratchet on my joint. It's all good.
No,
We
I
welcome
could
it,
get I
man.
could get canceled on your pod. I'll take that. I'll
Nah,
take that.
we'll never cancel you, man. Freedom of speech, man.
But I
Amendment
mean, he on
21
some.
is
He might be on something. He might smoke. He might smoke some psychedelics and stuff like that because his creativity crazy, and he think he an artist on the basketball floor. Like he said, I'm an artist. Like I produce
oh, he
hits.
is. I don't know.
He
That's not
said
even
that, and he is. He definitely is. He all that when it comes to that putting that ball on that floor.
yeah.
But when it comes
All
to
right.
like,
So two last points on the docket. I want y'all I want y'all thoughts on the All-Star game. One, the existence of it, how you feel, yay or nay, should we have one? And then number two, this is the first time since I've been on air that both teams have been announced. So we have two teams that are announced. Oh well, the starters are announced. The coaches still have to pick the rest of the teams, but we have the
you
starters.
see my face, I was shot like the reserves got announced.
Right.
That was like a Christmas gift to me. I was like, the reserves got announced. I
Right,
care about
right.
the NBA way too much.
All right, so for the West, we got Luka Doncic, we got Steph Curry, we got LeBron James, Nikolai Jokic, the Joker, and we got Kawhi Leonard going up against Kyrie Irving, who we've been talking about extensively, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and our guy, your guy, JoJo MVPB, man. So, um, yeah. First, I want to know, how do y'all feel? I'm already on record and saying how I feel about the All Star game. I haven't got a chance to ask you guys. How do y'all feel about it just even happening? It is supposed to be an All Star day. They're starting with a skills competition, 3-point competition. They'll start the All Star game. They'll have the dunk competition at halftime, and then they'll finish the All Star game, and it's like an All Star day, kind of like some AAU stuff.
I think that so just running through the facts here. The NBA has extensive COVID protocol. The All Star game is taking place in Atlanta, a city that is open, a city that with a location search on your phone, you can see how rolling Atlanta is. The culture of Atlanta that is rolling mirrors the culture of your NBA players. You were putting that together, and what is it that you expect to come out of that? I guess is my question. This is the same work. This is the same.
You know what they expect? They expect some dollars. They see dollar signs. They see.
I agree. So like it was a calculated risk. Like so, this is what could go bad, but financially, this is what goes well for us. We're willing to take the risk. How far that risk is going to go? Does it jeopardize the second half of the season? Is it worth it? I mean, that remains to be seen. I find it interesting the amount of players of high notoriety that said clearly, I have no interest in an All-Star game. I'll find it interesting if those players are there and then how many minutes they actually play in the game.
I'm gonna be real. George Bush don't care about black people. That's how I can leave that as cryptic as y'all want to leave it, but George Bush don't care about black people. But my thing is, this is my thing about it. The All-Star game is not needed at all. We don't really need it, but they having it. They have to produce it because they already got paid. See, the NBA run into that point of like they doing shows because they already got paid for it. That's why they gotta do it. They already got paid. Everybody already got paid. The players already got paid. Everybody already got paid, so they gotta do it. If they're gonna do it, I'm fine with them doing it the way they're doing it. And a lot of players, of course, don't want to play because this season has been grueling. Like they playing back to backs, 2 games in 3 days every day. They killing them out there. Dude's gonna play minutes though. They gonna play the minutes in the All-Star game. They're gonna play. And Doc is probably gonna try to keep it as simple as possible because Doc probably is not gonna want to be there. But George Bush just don't care about black people. Other thing I got to say, sidebar of it is, why we just noticed that the Western Conference team got gentrified? Did y'all peep that? They gentrified the Western Conference starters on the All-Star side.
Luka and Jokic.
Yo, they forced a Luka Doncic down our throat so bad. The boy can play. He 27, 9, and 9. I had to tell the dude in my podcast that, bro, they're losing not because of Luka. Because he's 27-9-9. I don't know where I can go up to 32, 10-10. Like, it's not gonna do.
Yeah, where do you want my ceiling to be? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And he's a very popular player. I understand him being a starter because of popularity, but I feel bad for Dame Lillard because it's like Dame Lillard is what I want Kyrie to be as a basketball player. And as a dude, because Dame goes to the hood. Dame's go back to Oakland every year, does his thing, and it's not known. Like he does his cookouts, his camp, he does all that stuff, and he don't put it out there.
Out there, so definitely the Brookfield Cookout is definitely every year on like.
Well, you lived out, yeah, you used to live out there, yeah. Dame be in the, Dame come to the hood like him and Marshawn Lynch. Make sure
they be out there. It ain't even on those charities. Like on a random day walking home, I seen Marshawn got the Beast Mode store down there downtown. So randomly, like I can count at least 10 times where I've walked past him, just nod my head, he nod his head back.
Yeah, that's just how they, and that's how they feel like they regular out there.
They are
like they regular.
Nobody bother them. Like the people of Oakland are gonna come at you for messing with them before. You know what I'm saying? They got to do anything strenuous. Like they are protected by Oakland because they come back.
Yeah, and I think that Dame got hurt on this All-Star stuff. I think he got hurt. That was what hurt me from my biggest observance was that I was like, this was Dame.
That's what I was going to ask you. Now that we got starters and we know we're going into that funny area where coaches are picking the rest of the teams. I was going to ask, who do y'all think is going to get snubbed, or who do y'all feel as though may even be snubbed by making the All-Star game, but should have been a starter? You know what I mean? Things of that nature.
Where did James hurt in the mix?
That's a good question, man. I think that's something that people gotta look at when somebody switches coasts so fast. I think it should have implications on things as the All-Star game. You know, James Harden is who he is, but he's a different player out there now. Them points is way down, the assists is way up. But I think you got to judge them different. And who we got out there? We got it's Ben, because I know we pushing. I know I'm pushing. I won't speak for anybody else. I'm pushing for Ben. But we got Ben out there in the East. I know probably Kyle Lowry's name is out there in the East just because he's a staple.
Can't be. Kyle ain't having a great year. Fred VanVleet is the one.
Yeah, VanVleet. I was speaking solely starters because the league gives out that starters ballot and they pick who you get the vote. So I'm just thinking
Boston going to get one or two guys.
They should get two. Boston should get two unequivocally. They should get two.
Tatum had that COVID issue and he missed a lot of games, so I think they're gonna get one.
I wouldn't even be able to tell unless you just reminded me that happened.
Yeah, he missed a lot of games. But when he came back, he came on fire, and people only remember the last things that they seen.
Yep.
And the thing is, I think James Harden should be in there definitely. Like, he's going to get in. Write him in because he's going to get in.
I think he's just marquee in the league at this point.
But he averages 25 and 10. So, I mean, they sacrificed him for Kyrie as a starter because Kyrie's more popular because Kyrie plays for Nike, has Nikes instead of Adidas's. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Nike in the front of the store, Adidas in the back. But
three stripes, dog.
What I got against what?
You got against the three stripes, dog.
I love the three stripes. I rock Adidas, but I just know Nike in the front of the store, Adidas in the back. That's the truth. Nike got to be in the front of every store, or else you can't have Nike there. But I think personally that James should be starting over Kyrie, honestly, because he went in that mode like when Kyrie ain't there, KD ain't there, Harden there every night. I think that's another snub. But Ben, I think the best thing for Ben's career is that he doesn't make the All-Star game this year.
I agree with you 100%.
Because it lights a fire. And it makes him have to prove something for one time in his career.
See, you and my man 215 Mike is on the same page with that because he didn't want to open my eyes to that. He like, I want to see how Ben is playing. Because it looked like, he said when the first ballot came out, Ben was on it, but he was real low. Second ballot came out, Ben wasn't on it. Third ballot came out, Ben wasn't on it. And since then, that's
started going crazy.
Since he's been clear out of trade rumors, since Harden actually got traded and his name was clear out of trade rumors, he's been playing lights out. It's no complaints. It's Ben Simmons that every minus, and I don't listen. We all know basketball on this pod right here. Scoop, me and you played basketball.
Yeah.
I don't need Ben Simmons to be jump shot Ben Simmons. I just need him to be productive, aggressive, imposing my will Ben Simmons. However he chooses to do that each and every night is his decision. I just need you to do that each and every night. That's all.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I said I think the one guy that's going to get hurt because Ben might get in. One of these dudes is going to get sacrificed. It's going to be between Ben and Zach LaVine. Because Zach LaVine, I judge people on a scale. I watch Zach LaVine play every game, and he hoops every night. He hoops every night. They don't be losing because Zach LaVine not playing good. They losing because they just in the cards.
Yeah, he's not coming out to be like, oh man, we did the. I'm playing for a corny team. I'm not. It's like none of that matters to Zach LaVine. He's like, is it basketball happening tonight? Because I'm gonna be there. Like,
he playing with high energy, coming off screens, trying to dunk on you, shooting threes and everything, and he's getting 30s. And I think like second or third in the league in scoring. He out there, he in the top 5. He out there getting buckets every night. So and I feel as though that, I mean, luckily he's so young, but you only get so many chances to make the All-Star team. And that window does close because, like, say Zach LaVine gets to the Sixers and he has to take a lesser role.
And that's not. We got to factor in politics. That's why that window might be the shortest of all NBA accolade windows.
Ask Mike Conley.
Go ahead, John.
No, I'm saying ask Mike Conley. Like, he never been to an All-Star game, and now they're talking about like giving him the nod just off the strength that he's had a great career and never been there. You don't want that joint.
No, he having a great season. Mike Conley's probably, if you watch Utah, he only missed I think he missed the last 7, and that's why everybody not remember how good he was playing before he missed those 7 games. But before he missed those 7 games, he was easily probably, if it's not outside of buckets, he's probably the best player on Utah. Like, he's shooting his best percentages. He's doing everything great. It's between him and Rudy Gobert. I tell everybody, I said I was a big Donovan Mitchell fan his rookie year. But Donovan Mitchell, he gonna go get buckets. And on Utah, that's all he has to do. He don't gotta defend nobody. He don't gotta do nothing. He's gotta shoot shots, and that's what he do. Mike Conley gotta set the table. He gotta make sure all that. If Mike Conley don't play good, they not number 1 in the West.
But that's not even on Utah. That's his whole career in Memphis too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, his playoff runs in Memphis, all of that, never been to an All-Star game, and now it's like, I think. Do you give him the nod? Do you give them 3 All-Stars? Because you got to put Gobert there just off the strength of. Let me not say that. I don't think you have to, but I think the league will get Gobert in the All-Star game.
Gobert getting in. He getting in. And Davis ain't playing, so Gobert getting in. They ain't even going to put in Davis in. Davis hurting.
So does Utah get 3 All-Stars when it comes down to?
No.
Well, there you go. And this is the argument for why Zach LaVine deserved it. Like,
Spider getting in. Spider going to get in. Gobert going to get in. And I honestly, I say De'Aaron Fox been having a great year. I told everybody, I said, I pay $50 a month for League Pass. I'll be damned if I'm going to watch all nationally televised games every week. I tell you that much.
We're going to talk after the pod. We're going to talk. Why are you doing that?
It's other routes. It's other routes.
Listen,
we're not making you pay $50 for League Pass until League Pass either endorsed the Chuck Rock podcast or the FoFoFo, dog. But we're gonna talk about that. That's after that. Go ahead.
I tell everybody, I say I got too much loyalty to the NBA. I tell them all the time. I love the NBA too much, bro. I really do, man. And the NBA don't love me. NBA got no love for Death Row. That's crazy. NBA got no love for the East Coast, bro. It is crazy. But, man, like, I would love to see Mike Conley in the All-Star game. But as we talking right now, I'm currently drafting a team, and I just skipped over Mike Conley. I just skipped over him. It's like, it's sad because 16 points just ain't enough because, like, Chris Paul, I don't think Chris Paul makes the All-Star game either. And Chris Paul, I just don't think, sir, I think the All-Star game should be made for dudes who either, like, he upper echelon wins, but then there's so many dudes that's upper echelon buckets. And we don't want to see do we really want to see Mike Conley in the All-Star game running up and down, doing nothing?
That's facts.
He's the nicest guy in the world, though. Yo, he's the nicest dude. I
mean, but on the flip side, we would love to look up at the end of his career and see that he had one, that he was at one. I would say
one-time All-Star.
Play devil's advocate. I would say that.
I'm fine with him being Rod Strickland.
We got it. All right, so that's
every generation got one. Monte Ellis was last generation. He's Rod Strickland. He's Mike Conley. He's a good player, man. He's a great player.
That 30 mil, and I know I was one of the few people arguing that when he first got it. They're like Mike Conley because they just look at the name. But I say look at him and where he's at for Memphis. For Memphis, he's definitely worth that money for what he does, and he's continued to prove that even in being traded to Utah. Like he is a stellar run your whole system and make sure the people who need the ball get the ball, and he's that guy.
You don't have to worry about it. I guess you don't have to worry about anything at that position with him.
At anything, and even and just to go even further, he played with Greg Oden, and Greg Oden was supposed to be the generational guy that was about to change and revolutionize the big man.
Don't you do that, Toe. Don't you do that.
And here it is. All these years later, that it was actually Mike Conley that lasted. You know what I'm saying? So that's
it's funny. It's funny. Mike Conley was on the Woj pod, and he said that he said I've never been the best player on my team since middle school, high school. He said middle school, high school, college. He said middle school, Daquan was the best player on the team. He said even AAU, he had Daquan Cook, Eric Gordon on his team, Greg Oden for Spieth. And he had a greater NBA career than all those guys in hindsight. Some of them got injured. Daquan didn't transition into the NBA that well. Eric Gordon got on the wrong teams and just said, F it, got fat with New Orleans, and then said, well, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. But, I mean, you got to give him kudos for being the best dude out of Ohio during that era.
And Ohio was tough around that time.
Indiana. They're from Indiana.
But they went to Ohio State.
They went to Ohio State. Yeah, during that run in Ohio State, they had some good dudes. But, yeah, I give them credit. But All-Star, no participation for me.
All right, so I got to do it with y'all. Our last point of the night before I just get some blanket opinions about the trading of Carson Wentz. But LeBron James, in the GOAT discussion, has added yet another notch to his resume. And that notch is 35K points, 9K rebounds, and 9K assists career. This is nuts. He sits in this league alone. And I read somewhere, even if you take 17,000 points away, he's still in this joint by himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's I don't think it's an argument. The Jordan 6 rings is amazing. Like obviously Jordan is GOAT, but like LeBron's ability to do this with the longevity that he's accomplished these feats and the fact he never takes time off. Like is NBA season, All-Star game minutes, finals run, USA basketball, back to preseason. All like he doesn't take time off. I mean, does he get his rest days here and there? That's where the league is at right now. But he's not like, you know what? I'm gonna put my body on ice for a year, regroup for whatever the reason might be that you're doing so. That's not in the cards for him. He's doing it year after year, and he's not taking time off. It's impressive.
And very impressive.
Has he lost in the finals? Yes. But Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl, and everybody talked about how many times he made it, and nobody in the room was like, yeah, he lost a couple of them joints, though. Nobody had that conversation.
Facts, Cousin John. All facts, Cousin John.
I'm gonna keep it G real, like my man from the video said. LeBron, I don't do GOAT conversations. I hate doing GOAT conversations because I feel like you disrespect eras, and I feel like you disrespect. We had this conversation about when KG said guards from 20, 30 years ago couldn't play today. Mm-hmm. And I think LeBron's stats stand in themselves, and he is the greatest of his era. And he got to play in 3 different types of basketball eras, for say, as far as like they turning the game around. Mm-hmm. And they turned the game around on him 3 times. And he just transitioned seamless into the no-touch era because he's in the no-touch era now. Right. And he's just loading up on stats during this no-touch era. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. But I do not do GOATs because Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in Converses. Canvas Converses, bro, and rode the train. I do not do GOATs when dudes do that. They was playing double headers in the 50s and 60s, bro. Who knows how good? Well, Will Chamberlain still holds the running, jumping, vertical record to this day in the NBA. Who knows what he would have been with Drew Hanlon as his trainer? Like he having like him knowing like, yo, I can't get drunk and turn up this summer. I gotta get drunk this way. I gotta drink wine to replenish my body, and I can't do GOAT because there's so many dudes and so many eras that probably could have been better in this time. And who knows? I believe that LeBron, one of those guys that I don't think we've seen the peak of LeBron, honestly. I think if we seen LeBron in the 90s, he would have been a lot better in the 90s than he is now.
I fuck that. I've been arguing for the last 3 years. LeBron is getting better.
Yes, this is the best LeBron. This is the best LeBron we've seen. This is the best LeBron we've seen. This is the best LeBron we've seen.
He just obliterated the prime conversation.
He got no weakness.
I'm looking at a guy who has no weakness, and he's getting better.
He has no weakness right now. He has no weakness right now.
The only thing that really make people come down out of that prime, even to people who, the casual fan, is his athleticism. So now that that's intact, every other aspect of his game is getting better. He's shooting better. His decision making is getting better.
Yeah. I've been saying this for years. Like, I think that everyone's like, you can't chase a GOAT. You can't chase the ghost of MJ. You can't chase Bill Russell's rings. I think that he has the one thing to chase that is just a scenario that played out for him. He's chasing the ability to play on a team with his son at a high level and win a chip.
That's gonna be a crazy feat if they pull that off.
Because like once you realize like, yo, young boy got a shot. Once you realize that and you're already playing and conditioning your body for the long haul, you start doing the math. You like, all right, I can be out here on the floor, but what does that look like? I'm not trying to be Bill Russell player coach, and that's no disrespect to Bill Russell, but I can't imagine LeBron wanting that to be the role. Like, I'm trying to contribute. I'm trying to win a chip as well. So, like, that's the one thing that you can constantly go to when you're looking at, I don't want to play all these games, my body breaking down, I got to get back in the gym. Like, that being able to accomplish that, I can't imagine that that's not something that's in the forefront of his mind. Granted, he probably don't talk about it because who wants to put that pressure on you for the next 4 or 5 years and the pressure on your son to even like make the league? But it's got to be there for him.
I'm gonna tell you something, y'all not gonna sucker me into a GOAT conversation, because I really don't do GOATs, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like nobody gonna like what I say, because at the end of the day, I started watching basketball in '94, bro, and I seen one man be unstoppable for 3 seasons where I was like, this nigga not gonna lose. I hate to use the N-word, but Black Cat, I'd never seen no matchup for Black Cat. I seen people like, yo, man, Bron gonna lose this one. And when I say Bron probably gonna lose this, I bet on Bron for 5 years straight, bro. He pulled off 1 time. 2 times when he pulled it out. 2 times when I was sick. And I just like, I feel like, I tell people, I feel like when I look at MJ got all the quotes that Jay-Z had. Like, I will not lose. Like, I never seen. I just don't get that. And I love LeBron. So if we talking GOATs, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, we keep it all real. It's no stat. It's no nothing, because I got to watch them 3 years of MJ where he went. I watched 4 concrete years of MJ. 4 years of just where I would watch the games that he came on national TV, because we got League Pass the last year of MJ. We got the League Pass on the cable TV, and they used to mess up all the time. We used to be able to watch the games for free. I got that for the very end of his career. His last season, we got a League Pass. But for 4 seasons, this first season coming back out of retirement was one of my first seasons watching basketball. I seen Nick Anderson lock him up, take the ball from me at half court. They celebrated and everything. The next season, I said, there's no way he beat Shaq and Penny and them. I had an Orlando jersey. Next season, my mom went to go get that Bulls jersey quick. I said, look, this is it was over. And then it was like the next season I was rooting against them because I started liking Reggie Miller. I like, all right, Reggie gonna beat him. Nah, stop playing. Sit down. Next team, sit down. Nobody beating me, bro. No matter who you put against me, nobody beating me. And it's just like, that's just the mystique of MJ, and I got to live it. And I got to live just literally watching a dude like, yo, nobody gonna beat. He ain't put no trickery, no foolery in or nothing. It's just his teammates look bad. So I just like, I watched it in hindsight. Like, if you watch how bad Scotty looked at the end of that run, if you watch, like, it was like, yo, Scotty ain't Scotty, bro. Like, he just looked bad at the end of that run. And I don't know. Jordan is that mystic character to me that I just like.
I'm not gonna argue with you just for the simple fact that you told me that you started watching MJ in '94 and until '97, and you had a solid 3 to 4 seasons to watch him. You also mentioned that League Pass didn't come until '97, and you also said from the games that I've seen on national TV, because that's my only gripe. Those three things are my only gripes with people who argue MJ and don't be trying to hear nothing. I'd be like, dog, you did. It'd be a casual fan, first of all, and I know you, so I know you. I know you. I know Philly Heat. I know, you know what I'm saying. I've seen
Yeah.
so at various levels of my life. So
Yeah.
I want to appreciate you for saying that, because people think I'm crazy when I say that. Like, you didn't see MJ,
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something, Tone. You know what's real?
but
Somebody,
everybody. That's not. But just the simple fact that you said I had league pass and it used to mess up. So everybody that had that. My mom and dad wasn't league. What is, man, get out of here.
well,
But
we had 749 on the digital cable box. Yes.
the only person in like 5 years who has told me in that much detail how much.
Right.
I'm not arguing with you, Scoop.
That's why I said no, and this is the thing about it, because like LeBron, I think LeBron is just like, well, LeBron, he's so amazing, so good. He's such a physical specimen, and he dominates the game on so many different levels, and it's amazing to watch. But it was just like I go back on Black Cat. I call him Black Cat because I learned that from Cove. Like Cove, I found out he used to call him Black Cat. People that try to pass like they used to call him Black Cat. No, I found out from Cove that they called him Black Cat. And I sat back and I watched the 89, I think it was the 89-90, 89 All-Star game. Dude was like from here to here. He was 6'6" Russell Westbrook, like all over the floor. And I just never seen nothing like it. He's just the perfect prototypical basketball. Bron is a mutant. Jordan is the prototypical basketball player. Like, if you create a basketball player in the lab, you either making Jordan or Kevin Durant. That's what you making. Like, if you're making a real basketball player, Bron's some more other stuff. Like, he's just a different type of human being. Like, this is different. Like, he's huge. Like,
this always comes up in the conversation too, where it's like, yeah, but like LeBron don't count. Like, because of his physical stature. Like, yo, that's not his fault. And that's not saying that's what you're getting at, but a lot of people in the GOAT conversation will say, yeah, but like, it's not fair because of LeBron's size. Like, yo, Zion get buckets because of his size and no one's complaining.
Zion 6'5". Zion got something working against him. He's 6'5". Bron don't got no angle working against him at all. Like, at least Zion, you could block his shot. Zion can't rebound. Like, Zion got getting 5 and 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds a night sometimes. Like, I watch Zion, I'm like, all right, well, you know,
like,
you 6'5".
Before a nigga even see you dribble the ball, you just gonna be 6'8", 260 with the 4'3" and the 50-inch vertical.
And
like,
the speed.
Before we ask you about a basketball rule, a basketball move, or anything, like, that's what you got working for you, dog. Like, that's crazy.
I'm gonna say something I never said before, because I just had my brain thinking. LeBron is Shaq if Shaq gave an F about basketball.
Right.
Like, Shaq would have had that much dominance if Shaq really like cared. Like, if Shaq was stayed and lived in New Jersey for the rest of his life instead of San Antonio, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna dominate the league for 20 years and like really dominate every. Like, Shaq said, Eddie Curry had the best quote. Eddie Curry told Shaq said, you know, big fella, I'm gonna let you rock because I like your mother. Me and your mother cool. I'm gonna let you rock tonight. But if Brad Miller come in the game, I'm gonna kill you.
What if Brad Miller come in the game?
Eddie Curry was like, all right, OG. And he said he took it light on. He had 20 and 17, 25 and 17 or something like that. And he chilled. And I was like, LeBron and Shaq, if Shaq didn't care. Like, LeBron don't care. Every night he out there for the kill. Like, ain't no chill in Bron. That's the amazing part. That's the one thing I do give Bron. Bron don't chill. Like, his chill is a different type of chill. Like, he just different, bro. Like,
yeah, Bron different, man.
And he the GOAT of this era, definitely. But the one thing that's funny, I wish Kevin Durant would have got drafted in his class instead of Melo.
Why you say that?
I wish Kevin Durant was born at the same time as LeBron.
So I
He
think
came
they
out.
have more of a rivalry than LeBron.
He would have a better rival. He would have a way more extreme rival if Kevin Durant was, because Melo, one of them dudes that's a great basketball player. And he loved the game of basketball, but Melo loved his outside stuff too. Melo loved life. Melo, that's what we're gonna set it as. Melo loves life. Like he loves life. He loves hanging out. He like doing other stuff. KD is that dirty young boy from your neighborhood that go out there and hoop every day and go get snacks, and then you see him at the court all day, every day. And I'd love to see that dude with LeBron as his like Larry Bird to Magic Johnson. I'd love to see that for a long time. Like that's the only thing I wish like that they could have been born in the same trajectory, because I think they'd have pushed each other to new levels and levels. Like wouldn't have been no load management, wouldn't have been no I'ma chill, no nothing, because KD would have been looking at that like, yo, I'ma be number one. It took KD like 5 years to realize like, yo, maybe I could be the best dude in the league. Brian came in like, man, as soon as these old boys is out of here, it's mine. It's mine. KD was like, yo, Brian attainable. Then he worked. Remember that one season him and Brian worked out together before the lockout? And that was the worst thing I think Brian could have did. Because KD was like, oh, you could touch him? He real? Oh, all right. I got you. I got you. And KD just became a different human being every time he played Brian. Like, yo, he playing different against Brian. Like, he used to be like a little bit scared of him.
Right.
But yeah, Brian definitely like his yo, hey John, hold on. You ever really watch Brian in a playoff game?
Of course.
Like, do y'all realize how perfect you gotta be as a team to beat him?
Listen, he is the entire season preparing for those moments. And like, does he come up short sometimes? His team does.
No, don't do that. Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. That's not cool. I hate when people.
No, like that's keeping it real. Like sometimes it's like
that's not keeping it real. That's not keeping it real. Don't do that. Because at the end of the day, he puts his team in positions to come up short. Because he's controlling the ball. He's controlling every dynamic of that game. He playing Monopoly with that basketball in his hand. So he putting them dudes in position to not to drop the ball for him. He controlling that thing. Like you control that rock, bro. Don't nobody else touch that rock but you. So don't get mad when you drop it in somebody's lap and they miss.
That's a fact.
I think that if you're doing if this is NBA Live 97 and you're creating a player and you got the attributes, LeBron has the I'm a part of the team attribute, which makes everybody want to play with him. And I think that Jordan had the I'm gonna scare you into doing exactly what you need to do on the floor.
All right, let's be real about that. Dudes couldn't play with Jordan because Jordan played for Chicago, and his owner didn't want to spend money on the players on that team, let alone players outside of that team. Because if he was willing to spend money, Jordan probably wouldn't have even got to that team because they were supposed to trade Jordan for Dr. J. And he's like, I'm not paying no Dr. J.
What I'm saying is the guys in Chicago, like all the guys that came in and left, like the Scott Williams, the Luke Longleys, and all those guys, like Jordan had that I'm literally going to scare the hell out of you in practice so that you don't want to mess up. And it worked on the floor. It worked. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it at all. It worked for MJ. He got 6 rings, never lost in the chip.
You named dudes that needed to be scared on the floor, though.
That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying LeBron doesn't do that. That's you
don't got to, because he got Hall of Famers with him at every position most of the time. Hey, Brian ain't never win with a bad team. He ain't never win with some stink. He ain't never look over and say, yo, this boy ain't got it. We gonna win. He never had to do that. I got Curry. Curry, go take that pill. Go do what you do. I'm going to come here, block some shots, pass it to you, and I'm going to get out. D-Way, top 5 shooting guard all the time. Go score that bucket. Chris Bosh, one of the best utility men all the time. Hit that 3 ball. Ray Allen, best shooter all the time. Hit that tray ball for me. He ain't never had to win when the chips is down. He ain't never had to carry that. Anytime the chips is down and Brian lose, we say, man, he wasn't supposed to win anyway. We give him that every time. So if we push the needle and push the thing for one player, and then on another side we say, oh, his competition wasn't good enough. No, maybe he just elevated himself to push that competition further and further away from him. Because them teams was building teams to beat him. New York Knicks flipped their roster around 5 or 6 times to beat this dude. They flipped shooting guards, positions. Every team found a 6'6", 215 guy to guard him. Every year, Cleveland Cavaliers had a new Jordan stopper. Craig Elo, I'm the Jordan stopper. Gerald Wallace, I'm the Jordan stopper. Nah, you ain't no Jordan stopper, bruh. You ain't got nothing for me. But we have seen teams stack the deck on LeBron, and they just take that reign and that mantle from him.
What's your first super team?
Michael Jordan Bulls, 96, 97. Like,
I'm
Bulls.
saying, like you mentioned LeBron.
Are you going historically speaking or what I watched?
I'm saying you're talking about like LeBron stacking the deck. I'm asking you just out of curiosity, like for you, what's the first like, yo, this is the team that stacked the deck to win?
Historically or like what I watched?
That you've seen.
First team I seen that stacked the deck was Houston Rockets when they had Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, and they had Clyde Drexler on their team. That was the first team I've experienced that stacked the deck. And they had this light-skinned dude. They just never could get the right point guard. They had Matt Maloney playing point guard and this other black dude that played point guard. He was talking all crazy. He came from the CBA. Was like, now it's on. And they lost to John Stockton. Get him out of there. Come on. Sit y'all down. Go home. You guard Charles Barkley. You don't like guarding pick and roll. Come on. We're going to put you in pick and roll all game. John Stockton.
John Stockton missed 9 games his whole career.
Yes, and that's why I had to show somebody. I had to put that in somebody's DM because they was talking all this Chris Paul stuff, and they told me John Stockton couldn't play today. And I said, "Bro, you think with Drew Hanlon and
Stockton not the hill to die on the players that can and cannot play today. John Stockton is not that hill to die.
They always go to him. That's the first one they go to every time.
White, because he's white, but he's not the one. Like John Stockton, Larry Bird, they not really white. Like they like clear. You know
let's put it like let's put it like this. We're gonna be real. Like I'm gonna give a history lesson right now. TJ McConnell plays in the NBA right now, bro, and gets minutes. Raul Neto gets minutes. Ricky Rubio gets minutes. John Stockton better than all them, bro.
Come on. Even having to tell people that is like nasty to me.
Kevin Love flourishes in today's. It was at one point Kevin Love was elite, so Larry Bird couldn't be elite.
Like look at the guards. Look at the guards when John Stockton played,
bro.
And you can hand check.
They not shabby. Like the guards.
All right, so guess what? Now John Stockton, who was one of the few people that dribbled in front of your face with no crab, one of the few players that did that. Now I got all creativity to put the ball in front of your face and you can't touch me, and I could go for 50 with no free throws.
I think we all in agreement on historic shit. They be getting a little loose these days with some of the shit they be saying.
Because they're trying to kill history, bro. Because they're trying to create a rhetoric. They're trying to create a rhetoric of a GOAT.
When it's in black and white that this man lead the league all time in fucking steals and assists.
When you trying to create a,
how you gonna fade that? Like you gotta play the game to do that. Like
when you're trying to create a rhetoric of a GOAT and an all-time player of better than any era ever, you have to create his era and make his era the greatest ever.
Right. All right, so, look, man. We've been going on for a while, NBA. I want to table the NBA discussion. I want to wrap up real fast and give some flowers out. I definitely want to give flowers out to Naomi Osaka, who defeated Serena Williams in the Australian Open final to win her 4th Grand Slam at only 23 years old. That young woman is amazing, and she needs to be recognized on the highest of levels and, at her sport, at her craft. I even delved in and did a little bit more on her, reading her story. And her dad pretty much mirrored the Williams sister's story.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. She was born in Japan when her dad was out there as a college student. Her mom is Japanese. For political reasons, of course, they take the last name Osaka, but her mom and her dad is together. You know what I mean? And they also made the decision that she was going to play nationally for Japan. They said because she grew up there and that's where her heritage is and that's what she knows. But a lot of people say it's because America didn't jump on pipe until she got hot.
That's how they roll.
That's how they roll. Till she was like 16 and she was already who she was. They was like, yeah, man, we want you to come. And she was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But outside of tennis, I just really love the way she carried herself. She in a relationship with one of my favorite young artists, Corday, formerly known as YBN Corday. And I just really like the way that she carried herself. But she won that Australian Open and she beat one of the GOATs, one of her mentors. And I just think that deserves kudos. I want to give her a recognition while I got this microphone in front of me, man. So definitely big shout out to Naomi Osaka and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Is that a passing of the torch, you think?
I think. I think. And it's funny because I also brought this up in the last episode, but Serena's name has definitely been coming up recently because people have been talking about overall GOAT. And when you kind of look at Serena's resume, it's like, why y'all talking about an overall GOAT? I thought we already had this shit figured out. Like,
Yeah, I think.
and I'm not here to complain or go against Serena. I'm like, yeah, my bad. We got a little ahead of ourselves. This wasn't even a conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I just think we had to that girl like I haven't watched tennis. I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't watched a true tennis since Pete Sampras, and I watched like the peak '90 era
Black
of
and White
tennis.
Agassi was out.
Bourne and Steffi Graf and Monica Seles. I haven't really watched. I stay in tune because I see the clippings and stuff like that, and I think that was peak tennis as far as marketing. Agassi, Peter Bourne, and all them dudes like that. They had like 10 or 12 dudes that was like really big, and I don't even know who's on the men's side of tennis anymore. I just know women now. We had Steffi Graf, Monica Seles, all them people. Like that.
Serena and Naomi. It don't matter who on the men's side right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, that's crazy. Who wants to watch men play tennis anyway? It was kind of creepy.
John, any words for Naomi? Any last words?
I think it's incredible what she's doing. Like, she put the work in. It's showing. She's winning matches. It was. We go back to, I don't know if you saw the interview or the press conference when Serena lost. Like, they really was trying to get the waterworks to go, and like they were successful at that. She said, "I'm done." It sounded like it was a "I'm done with the interview." They tried to turn it into she just retired. And it's like, yo, I just took a L. I trained for this. I miss my family. Like, I mean, like, this thing that you as a human being would go through, not necessarily identifying it or realizing that, because she's one of the greatest women. She's one of the greatest tennis players of all time. That like she experienced this too. It would be nice to see Serena keep it going. I just don't know if she can get past her what she's created, and that gotta be tough. Like, that gotta be tough to realize. Like, on one hand, I'm super happy for this young woman and what she's done. I'm proud that I can have contributed to it. But on the other hand, damn, if I it's my fault that I can't get by her at this point. That got to be a catch-22 to deal with. So it'll be interesting to see it play out.
Got it. All right, gentlemen. I appreciate y'all for coming on the FoFoFo, chopping it up with me, man. Heavy Sixers talk, heavy NBA talk. Last thing I just need y'all to do is just tell the people where to find you, man. Scoot, Cousin John. No, Cousin John is an author. He got children's books out. Scoot is a comedian and also has the Check Rock podcast out. Two content creators who I really, really, really respect and admire. So yeah, let everybody know. We start with you, John. Let everybody know where they can find you, and then Scoot, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, appreciate it. On Instagram _Chase Books. If you want to buy a book, got a youngin. My books are written for children, like from infant through age 7. The idea is just to show them African American characters in books. You see people that look like you, experiencing life the way you do, you'll be more interested in reading. So go to chasebooks.com. You could pick up a copy there.
I'm buying a book tomorrow.
Yo, appreciate it.
From you, because I don't like how USPS be moving. Like, can I come link up and buy it from you?
Listen, you in Philly, we can make that happen. Like,
I'll come to Philly. All right, bet. Well, you sold one, because I just got an infant. I just had a newborn.
Go ahead, Scoot. Tell them where they can find you, man.
You can find me on all platforms and all forums except for OnlyFans at Scooter Comedy. The one place you ain't gonna find me at is OnlyFans. But at Scooter Comedy on everything. That is that easy. Xbox, PlayStation, 2K, anything.
You throwing, I mean, let them know you active, huh? You active on the sticks.
Yeah, I'm always around, man. You know, the bets could come through Cash Apps. But at Scooter Comedy around everything. And also check out my podcast. Just type in Check Rock Podcast on there. And we cover topics every week on basketball, period. We do all over college, high school, and all over basketball. I'm an NBA freak. I'll keep it real with you, man. I'll watch ball all day.
Definitely check out the Check Rock Podcast, man. He got some aficionados on there. He's an aficionado himself. I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's all good talk. It's all real talk. None of that we just want to talk to be heard stuff. Like I said, I've known Scoop for a long time now. I've seen him on the basketball circuit. When I was Uptown Tone, the rapper, Scoop hosted one of my shows. So, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like this is
Tone
what it
had
is.
some heavy hitters on there. I didn't even know who none of them people was. And then I was like, hold on, dude, or what? Or a battle
Right,
rap show?
right,
I'm like, what the heck?
right,
Hey, you had some people on there, Tone.
right. And you already know, man, Cousin John, you can see Cousin John with me all the time on everything that I do, man, because I just respect his opinion and everything that he does, what he puts forth, and just the person that he is, man. And that's all I care about on the FoFoFo is keeping that integrity and keeping good talk, man. So y'all brothers, man, I really appreciate y'all. Uh Definitely come back. You're welcome anytime. Listeners, you already know what it is. Uptown Tone, you know where to find me at. COVID Chronicles Podcast, FoFoFo Podcast. Check me out on all streaming platforms. I even got this new thing going called Streets is Talking with Cousin Kyle. So everybody you see me with his family, we're gonna keep this thing going. We content creators pushing into the 21st century. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next episode. Peace.